In Doherty's class this year, we really learned a lot about author voice, different writing styles. We read a lot of authors who had really unique writing styles, and I think that really impacted some of the ways that I decided to write about them, because like authors like Ernest Hemingway and Ralph Ellison have really unique voices, and it really is helpful to the story to be able to read them, and it's really helpful to my writing style to read them and get a different feel for how different people write, because I'm always interested in, like, for American Horror Story Devonshire, I copied a very specific writing style, and it was really important for me to know about the specific writing styles, because that's been really helpful to me in producing certain things that I've written. Another thing that I learned about writing and about different stuff didn't really come from the class, but I learned a lot while writing and producing American Horror Story Devonshire, because I was the writer, director, costumer, and there was so much stuff that I had to do that I really had to take into account. Like with plays, it's very important. The location is a character, and especially with American Horror Story Devonshire, the location is a character. And so I really had to figure out, I have to write this scene here, and then it leads into this scene in here. And we do have a tour guide for the show who leads people to different locations, but you don't want people to be walking like just all over campus and running back and forth. So I think I tried to do a good job of blending one scene into another, and that was difficult when you're writing at home and there's no real reference for how far stuff actually is in Devonshire. So it was a writing challenge for me, but I think it really paid off. I really do think that I learned a lot about myself this year as a student, because I know that a lot of people say junior year is the most challenging year academically, and that sort of seems like it's been the case, but it's really, I learned a lot of stuff about myself as a student, and I know that if I don't get something done like the day that it's due, or if I don't at least start it the day that it's due, that I'm not gonna have the initiative to start it back up once it's done, or once the day is over, once it's a couple days into the project. And I really think that's important. I also learned that it's really important to make sure that if it's in a group project, it's really important to make sure that everybody has an equal opportunity to work on the project, because a lot of times our project was on somebody's home computer, and we had to make sure that they were working on it, but it sort of felt like an unequal distribution of work. So it was important to know that you got to make sure that everybody has access to it, and that everybody's motivated to do it and actually does work. This year I got a lot of really interesting group dynamics. I got first to be in a group with Kara and Charlie and Gio, which was really, it was really cool, because Kara is just such a force of nature, really, when it comes to, she was doing a video that she wrote and she was really passionate about, and it was really great to get to help her fully realize that. But it did seem like she sort of had, a lot of initiative on that one, and everybody else was just sort of helping, and that was fine because she obviously produced an amazing movie. But then, when we got to work in the documentary groups, it didn't really seem at the beginning like anybody in the group had much fervor or passion for that particular documentary, and so we just we stalled for a while at the beginning. But then it seemed like once we picked up the pace and we actually started working on it, we discovered, this is a pretty cool story, and we knew that we had to get it done, so we ended up getting it all done, and I thought it was a pretty good one. As an adult, I really just want to end up being like Alex Gordon. As an adult, there are so many parts of performing arts that interest me. I really love acting and singing, but I'm leaning more towards costume design, because it's a steadier profession, first of all, and I'm really into it. But there are so many parts of theater that interest me that it's kind of hard to pick one. And as a person, just in general, as an adult, I really want to end up being, a responsible adult, and I want to end up being a good friend to my friends, because there are some adults that, they are friends in high school and they never talk to each other again. But these people are, that I know here are so great that I want to keep in contact with them. As far as making the class better for future students, I'd say really focus on, at least for this year, really focus on students' individual voices rather than, because we learned so much about other people's voices that I didn't really feel like we were able to really hone our own creative voices, and I'm not really sure, and I feel like I've honed that separately, but that there are some people in this class who still don't really know what their creative voice is, and I think that would be really good to be able to have people who really have a whole class of people who really know what they want to express and how they want to express it to the world. So I feel like that would be a really good, really worthwhile thing to do.